Welcome back to Open Verse Plus. If you find this series helpful or simply enjoy diving into the world of Renegade Immortal, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Your support gives our team the strength to bring you more episodes from Wang Lin's legendary journey. Now then, let's dive back into the story. In the previous episode, Wang Lin subdued a mysterious man in black whose cultivation was revealed to be artificial, powered not by true origin energy, but by a fragment of jade infused with celestial intent. Through the confession of Sun Yunshan, Wang Lin learned about an organization known as the Cultivation Union, ruled by a being who called himself the Celestial Realm Ancestor. This ancestor had implanted deadly, celestial seeds into his followers, binding their souls to his will. After refining the Guardian's origin soul, Wang Lin discovered the truth behind the jade fragments, remnants of celestial power capable of granting false ascension. With his mind sharpened and anger stirring, Wang Lin decided it was time to confront the Cultivation Union himself. The story continues. Sun Yunshan explains to Wang Lin that the Cultivation Union is hidden deep within the borderlands between the Fire Demon Country and the Gold Demon Country, a land shrouded in poisonous miasma all year round. The place is almost impossible to find, perfectly concealed within a deadly fog. Wang Lin listens quietly, then smiles faintly. He admits that he isn't confident in breaking the powerful restriction binding Sun Yunshan, but he believes that the so-called ancestor of the Cultivation Union, the one who created that restriction, should be able to do it easily. Sun Yunshan is overwhelmed with gratitude. After all that Wang Lin has done for him, he vows that if he ever returns to planet Tian Yun, he will repay this favor no matter what. Wang Lin, however, simply shakes his head. He explains that even if Sun Yunshan hadn't appeared, he would still be heading to the Cultivation Union. The ancestor there has provoked him twice already. If Wang Lin doesn't put an end to it now, there will be no end to the trouble. After saying this, Wang Lin stores the broken jade into his bag, waves his sleeve, and disappears from the tower with Sun Yunshan. Before leaving the Soul Refining Tribe, he captures the remaining Cultivation Union cultivators in a single gesture and vanishes with them as well. Meanwhile, the Fire Demon Country is still at war. Blood flows endlessly, dyeing the land red and filling the air with the stench of slaughter. The chaos draws the attention of the neighboring nations, after all. With two great countries locked in war and the Sky Demon Country nearly drained of its forces, the other 7 countries see an opportunity that comes once in tens of thousands of years. High above the battlefield, a streak of light races through the sky like a meteor. It is Wang Lin, traveling swiftly toward the miasma-covered borderland. When he arrives, the meteor's light fades, revealing his calm figure. Sun Yunshan stands beside him, both nervous and excited. Wang Lin tells him to hold on to the jade talisman he had given earlier. It cannot remove the celestial seed inside him, but it might delay its effect in a crisis. Then, without hesitation, Wang Lin steps into the thick, poisonous fog. Within the depths of that miasma stands a white tower. Inside sits a short old man in meditation, surrounded by 3 beautiful women, one of them being Sun Yunshan's younger sister, Sun Ruonan. From their mouths and noses flow streams of pink mist, forming alluring illusions that dance gracefully around the old man. As the illusions turn solid, they transform into celestial figures dressed in bright robes. The old man opens his mouth and inhales, swallowing all of them. The moment Wang Lin enters the miasma, the old man's eyes snap open, glowing gold. The illusions vanish instantly, and the 3 women's faces become pale and aged from exhaustion. Inside the dense fog, ghostly wails echo all around Wang Lin. The miasma feels alive, writhing toward him, trying to engulf him. Wang Lin's gaze hardens. To use soul techniques against me, you really don't know your limits. He raises his hand and forms a seal. Soul vortex. With that, the miasma begins to churn violently. A massive vortex forms before him, devouring the fog at incredible speed. In moments, the dense miasma that had shrouded this land for countless years is sucked away, revealing the sunlight for the first time in ages. A fist-sized sphere of condensed miasma forms in Wang Lin's hand, writhing with power. In the distance stands a grand white castle, with nearly 100 cultivators floating in the air outside. All of them stare in shock at the man who just dispelled the miasma that had stood for centuries. Some recognize him. Among them is a man in blue, a disciple from the Heavenly Fate sect's Blue Division who once accompanied Wang Lin to the Demon Spirit Land. When he meets Wang Lin's gaze, he looks away bitterly, aware that the young man he once looked down on has now become something far greater. Wang Lin's calm voice cuts through the silence. Make way. Instantly, the crowd parts. None of them dare stand before an ascendant cultivator who could command the heavens and earth with a gesture. But one arrogant young man in a Taoist robe steps forward, shouting, "Who are you?" "This is the Cultivation Union." He doesn't finish. Wang Lin's cold gaze pierces into his soul, forcing blood from his mouth. The killing intent within Wang Lin's eyes alone is enough to crush him. Terrified, the rest of the cultivators scatter even further back, opening a clear path leading directly to the castle. A commanding voice booms from within the castle, "Kill this person." But none of the cultivators move. Fear paralyzes them, until a black shadow rushes out from the castle like lightning. Someone gasps, "The Celestial Guardian." Still, Wang Lin's expression remains calm. He continues walking forward, his steps steady, his aura unshakable. The Celestial Guardian roars, summoning a horde of spectral beasts that surge toward Wang Lin, jaws wide open. Wang Lin's voice is quiet, yet filled with power. Without a true domain, even one who wields the strength of an ascendant is nothing but an empty shell. Just one blow. He lifts a finger. A strand of black energy condenses at the tip. "We'll break it." The finger of death shoots out, slicing through the illusionary beasts as if they were smoke. The black light pierces straight through the Celestial Guardian's chest. The man barely has time to scream before his body shatters and falls lifelessly to the ground. In the silence that follows, Wang Lin continues his slow walk forward, his eyes locked on the castle gates. From inside, a dignified voice trembles with anger and fear. "Who are you?" But Wang Lin does not answer. He keeps walking, his presence alone radiating the power of a man who has already carved his own Tao. Wang Lin stood before the White Castle, his expression calm, his tone light yet carrying an authority that made the air itself tense. "You provoked me twice," he said evenly, "and now that I've come here, you ask me who I am." Inside the castle, the short old man frowned. His expression darkened as he muttered, "Wang, I don't remember offending anyone named Wang." But deep down, he knew this intruder wasn't ordinary. He could sense that Wang Lin had already stepped firmly into the ascendant stage and even forged his own Tao, something only true masters could achieve. At that moment, Sun Yunshan's younger sister, whispered hesitantly, He should be Wang Lin." The old man's eyes widened. Wang Lin. A flicker of recognition and regret crossed his face. Back then, he had tried to capture Wang Lin merely to use him as another celestial guardian. A disposable pawn. Never had he imagined that this young man would one day grow strong enough to stand before him. The old man's tone softened slightly as he said, "Fellow cultivator Wang, it was I who was reckless before, offending you twice. You've already killed 2 of my celestial guardians, let us call it even. Leave now, and our paths shall not cross again." His words shocked the 3 women kneeling before him. They knew the ancestor's temper. He was proud, narrow-minded, and vengeful. For him to suddenly speak in such a compromising tone was unthinkable. Sun Yunshan in particular couldn't believe it. How could Wang Lin, no matter how powerful, stand equal to a celestial who could trap 4 late-stage soul transformation cultivators with a single spell? The ancestor still had 8 more celestial guardians under his command. Surely they could crush 1 mere early-stage ascendant. But Wang Lin didn't stop walking. He simply shook his head. 2 celestial guardians are nothing but 2 broken jades. He said coldly, "How can that erase the sin of offending me?" The old man's eyes turned cold, golden light flashing within. "How arrogant! You're only an early-stage ascendant, and you dare speak so?" His hand trembled as he shouted, "Celestial guardians! Summon the Celestial Emperor and kill this man." 8 figures shot out from the castle like streaks of lightning, men and women alike, each emanating the pressure of ascendant cultivators. They formed a circle and sat cross-legged in midair, their hands weaving complex seals. Spiritual energy rippled outward as their formation activated, and from their combined power, a giant phantom began to appear in the sky. The phantom slowly solidified into the figure of a middle-aged man wearing green robes, with long flowing hair and a sword glowing with celestial light in his hand. The sheer majesty of his aura made the heavens tremble. The surrounding cultivators fell to their knees, shouting in reverence, "We greet the Celestial Emperor." From within the castle, the old man's laughter echoed. "Wang Lin, I am from the Celestial Realm itself. After the Celestial Realm shattered, I fell to this world by chance. My techniques are true celestial arts, beyond anything you can resist. If you leave now, I will spare your life. But if you persist, you will die without a doubt." Wang Lin's eyes glimmered coldly as he stared at the phantom with the green sword. Slowly, he raised his hand, the sky dimmed, and from the heavens descended the underworld river, its ghostly waters coiling around him like a serpent of death. It roared forward toward the phantom. At the same time, the 8 celestial guardians released their full power. Their celestial energy surged wildly, channeling into the phantom above. The phantom's eyes suddenly gained intelligence. They flickered with divine awareness as he raised his sword and pointed it at Wang Lin. The moment that blade moved, Wang Lin's heart trembled. There was no visible attack, yet the oppressive will behind that gesture made his very origin soul shudder. His instincts screamed to retreat. It felt as though if he didn't step back, his soul would collapse. But Wang Lin had faced heavenly retribution before. He knew this kind of overwhelming might. He clenched his jaw and refused to move back. Instead, he took a step forward. As his foot began to fall, the 8 celestial guardians coughed up blood simultaneously. The life and celestial energy within their bodies poured out into the phantom. Its gaze grew even sharper, more lifelike. Then, it opened its mouth and spoke a single silent word. Though no sound emerged, Wang Lin's ears were filled with thunder. The world itself seemed to shake. He closed his eyes, steadied his breath, and slammed his foot down. The instant his foot touched the ground, the 8 celestial guardians trembled violently. The light in their eyes faded into darkness. The phantom froze, cracked, and shattered into pieces. The illusion dissolved like mist. The crushing pressure vanished. Wang Lin exhaled softly. What a powerful illusionary attack, he muttered coldly. Without slowing, he fused himself into the underworld river. The vast current of yellow water surged forward like a celestial dragon, sweeping across the battlefield. As it passed over the 8 celestial guardians, their bodies crumbled to dust. 8 broken jade pieces flew into the air and were caught effortlessly by Wang Lin. He tossed them into his bag as if they were nothing. From the collapsing castle came an enraged roar. A burst of pure celestial energy shot outward, slicing through the air toward Wang Lin. In response, the underworld river around him rose like a towering pillar that reached the heavens. The blast of celestial energy plunged into the river and vanished without a trace. Wang Lin's voice echoed from within the swirling current, "Activate." The river exploded outward, transforming into a massive vortex that devoured everything in its path. The white castle shook violently and then crumbled to dust under the crushing power of the storm. The old man burst into the air, his expression twisted in fury. The 3 women followed behind him, fear and hatred mingling in their eyes. "Wang Lin," the old man shouted, his face contorted, "I've tolerated you again and again. I didn't want to make you my enemy. But you leave me no choice. I'll give you one last chance, leave now. Otherwise, don't blame me for showing no mercy." Wang Lin didn't answer. His gaze was cold as death. He simply lifted a finger and unleashed the finger of death once more. The old man's eyes flickered with grim seriousness. He spat out a thick cloud of celestial energy that wrapped around Wang Lin's attack. The air hissed as the 2 forces collided and cancelled each other out. "Wang Lin, you forced me," the old man bellowed. He reached into his bag and pulled out a fist-sized blue jade. Forming a seal, he shouted, "Celestial Seed." The blue jade trembled, breaking apart into countless shining threads. They spread through the air, twisting and writhing like living serpents. The surrounding cultivators turned pale, horror written on their faces. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. His voice was calm but firm. Celestial beast feed. The old man froze. His expression changed sharply. You know what this is. Indeed, Wang Lin recognized it. He had seen the same thing long ago in the Celestial Realm. Strange. Parasitic threads used to feed celestial beasts. So that was what this old man had been using all along. Devour him, the old man roared. The blue threads hissed and surged toward Wang Lin like a tidal wave. But Wang Lin only snorted. He was not afraid, compared to what he had once faced. This was nothing. He flicked his sleeve, and from his bag emerged the soul flag of the soul refining sect. A roar echoed across the battlefield as a massive Qilin soul burst forth, its golden eyes glowing with ancient hunger. The Qilin's gaze locked on the incoming threads, its body trembling with excitement like a beast that had finally found its favorite prey. In the midst of a chaotic battlefield, Wang Lin unleashed his celestial Qilin, a creature of overwhelming majesty. The moment it appeared, the so-called celestial beast feeds that filled the sky and ground began to tremble in terror. As if facing their natural predator, they shrieked and tried to flee in all directions. But before they could escape, the Qilin snorted, releasing an invisible wave of power that froze them in place. A single roar from its mouth carried immense pressure, forcing every creature to kneel in submission. Then, with effortless grace, the Qilin swept forward and inhaled all of the trembling celestial beast feeds. Devouring them whole, their bodies turned into pure energy, nourishing the Qilin as it licked its lips. Its gaze now fixed greedily on the cultivators nearby, each of whom had strange green dots of energy condensing on their foreheads. Seeing this, the short old man who had been facing Wang Lin turned pale. He quickly pulled out a treasure from his bag of holding, a brush made of crystal and snow-white bristles. The moment the brush appeared, a wave of celestial majesty filled the air, even startling the Qilin. The old man shouted angrily, "Wang Lin, you may recognize the celestial beast feed, but do you know what this is? This is the divine soul brush. I once used it to enlighten mortals in the celestial realm. Leave now, or I'll truly act." Wang Lin's eyes grew cold. He replied evenly, "You don't need to tell me to leave. I already know that. Like those celestial guardians, you have no origin energy inside your body." The old man's face twisted in fury. His greatest secret, his lack of true celestial power, had been exposed. In his rage, he spat out a mouthful of blood and used the brush to draw a glowing symbol in midair. The symbol pulsed with immense power, spreading waves of force in every direction. For a moment, even Wang Lin was shocked, but that shock turned to exhilaration. The symbol the old man had drawn was identical to the one Wang Lin had once encountered outside the mysterious cave, a celestial character whose power he had tried and failed to reproduce countless times. Seeing it again ignited a wild joy within him. The old man saw the hunger in Wang Lin's eyes and trembled. It was the same look the Qilin had given the celestial beast feeds moments ago. Wang Lin's battle intent erupted like a volcano. He raised his hand and shouted, "Thunder Beast!" A roar split the heavens as lightning tore across the sky. Bolts of thunder crashed down, gathering around the god-slaying war chariot, and from that sea of lightning emerged the silver-horned thunder beast. Its roar shook the heavens, darkening the sky and turning the world into a realm of thunder. The Qilin roared in answer, and their combined cries shattered the green dots of energy from the cultivators' foreheads. The Qilin instantly devoured them, growing even stronger. The glowing symbol the old man had drawn shot forward toward Wang Lin, but the thunder beast's lightning crashed down upon it like a rainstorm. The old man's cultivation was weak. He could only draw a single stroke of the symbol. Unable to unlock its true celestial might, under the relentless thunderbolts, the symbol crumbled into pieces. Seeing his technique destroyed, the old man panicked. Fear overcame him, and he turned to flee. His mind was filled with terror and regret. He cursed the cultivator who had told him about Wang Lin's presence, swearing that if he lived through this, he would kill that man. But Wang Lin's eyes burned with obsession. To him, the old man was a walking treasure chest filled with celestial artifacts. Even if it cost him all of his celestial energy, he would not let this man escape. The old man was fast, using a dozen different escape spells, each more desperate than the last. Flames, lightning, illusion, teleportation. He used every trick he knew. Yet Wang Lin's divine sense locked onto him again and again. No matter how far he ran, Wang Lin's shadow always appeared before him. Finally, cornered and trembling, the old man threw his most precious treasure, the divine soul brush, into the air. The brush floated upward, surrounded by rippling light, as though it were about to pierce through the void and vanish forever. Wang Lin, he shouted frantically. That's a celestial treasure. If it disappears into the void, you'll never find it again. Wang Lin didn't even flinch. He calmly tapped his bag of holding, summoning the celestial sword and half-moon blade. Shu Leguo's spirit appeared, instantly realizing Wang Lin's intent. Little Black, speed, let's catch that brush, he shouted, as the black blade flashed and shot into the void after the disappearing treasure. Meanwhile, Wang Lin used the greater teleportation spell to continue pursuing the fleeing old man. The old man's mind was unraveling. Why won't he stop chasing me? I already gave up the brush. What does he still want from me? He screamed inwardly. In desperation, he pulled out another artifact, a net glowing faintly with green light. His face twisted with fear and hope as he whispered, "Celestial capture net, I beg you. This time, please trap the right enemy. Not me, please, not me again." This strange net was his most unpredictable treasure. The first time he had tested it, it had trapped him for 3 days. The second time, it did the same. Only on the third attempt had he managed to make it capture something else, a mere piece of wood. The short old man finally stopped running. His face was pale, his hands trembling as he clutched the celestial capture net. He knew escape was meaningless. Though he held the cultivation of a mid-stage ascendant, his strength was hollow, an empty shell compared to Wang Lin, whose cultivation was founded on his own Tao. Running now would only delay the inevitable. So, instead, he chose to gamble. If the celestial capture net favored him, it might trap Wang Lin for 3 days. With that time, he could flee beyond pursuit, or, if fortune truly smiled upon him, perhaps even capture Wang Lin alive and refine him into a true celestial guardian. The mere thought made his heart tremble with greed. All his previous creations had been flawed, defective guardians that failed to match the standards recorded on the mysterious jade he possessed. But if he could refine a cultivator like Wang Lin, one who had formed his own Tao, the success rate might finally reach that 1 in 10,000 chance the jade described. When Wang Lin appeared from the void a few breaths later, the old man didn't hesitate. He shouted madly and threw out the celestial capture net. At once, it expanded, stretching outward until it seemed to merge with the heavens and earth. Rays of green light erupted from above and below, shooting toward one another to form a prison between heaven and earth. The old man's eyes turned wild. "Trap him, trap him, trap him," he shouted, his voice cracking with desperation and madness. Veins bulged on his forehead as he clenched his fists, screaming, "It must trap him." But Wang Lin had already sensed how strange this net was. His divine sense couldn't pierce it, and his instincts screamed danger. Always cautious, Wang Lin had already prepared countless teleportation spells beneath his feet, ready to tear through space at a thought. As the green light converged, he activated the greater teleportation spell to escape. Yet in the next instant, the light abruptly shifted direction. It wasn't moving toward Wang Lin at all, it was rushing toward the old man. The old man froze, his face drained of all color as he stumbled backward, muttering in horror, "No, no, don't tie me up. I released you before, you can't trap me again. Please, I'm begging you, leave me a path to live." The green light ignored his pleas. It coiled around him like a living serpent, shimmering as it wrapped tighter and tighter. The old man burst into flames, trying to burn his way free, but the fire was instantly extinguished. "You ungrateful celestial capture net," he cried, his voice cracking with despair. "You only tie me up, never the enemy." A burst of golden light flared from his body, his last desperate spell, but it, too, was swallowed by the green glow. The net pulsed once, then tightened completely. The light faded, revealing the shimmering celestial capture net once more. Only now, the short old man was bound head to toe, unable to move a finger. Helpless, he floated through the air, and was gently delivered right to Wang Lin. For a long moment, Wang Lin just stared. In all his centuries of battle, he had never seen such a thing. A man bound by his own treasure. Gift wrapped and presented to his enemy. Even for someone as composed as Wang Lin, the absurdity of it made him pause. He could only marvel at the sheer irony of fate. The old man glared at him, his face red with humiliation. Never seen someone deliver themselves before? So what if my treasure failed? He barked, trying to sound defiant despite being completely tied up. Wang Lin couldn't help but smile, an expression so rare it almost startled even himself. The absurd scene, the man's indignation, it all seemed almost comical. But his amusement quickly faded. With a flick of his sleeve, he seized the old man and vanished into the void. When Wang Lin returned to the castle, most of the captured cultivators had already fled. Freed from the celestial seeds that once controlled them, they regained their senses and escaped. Only a few remained, among them, a young woman named Sun Yunshan, who stood staring blankly at the sky, lost in her thoughts. Wang Lin appeared silently, his eyes cold as ice. The remaining cultivators bowed deeply, expressing their gratitude. Only Sun Yunshan stood motionless, refusing to even acknowledge him. Without a word, Wang Lin gestured, pulling her through the air toward him before flying away. "Let me go. What right do you have to capture me?" she demanded, struggling in his grasp. "Shut up," Wang Lin said flatly, his voice colder than frost. The force of his tone froze her words in her throat. But she quickly sneered. "I know why you're taking me. You want me as your cultivation furnace. Don't you? Fine. Do what you want, but let me go after." Wang Lin turned his head slightly, his eyes filled with ruthless indifference. "You," he said softly, "don't have the qualifications to be my cultivation furnace." His speed was terrifying. In just a few steps, he crossed tens of thousands of kilometers, arriving where Sun Yunshan waited nervously. When Sun Yunshan saw Wang Lin descending from the sky with two figures in hand, his sister and his ancestor, his expression shifted from joy to shock. Wang Lin threw Sun Yunshan toward him. Then, with a wave of his hand, the celestial Qilin appeared once more, devouring the lingering green dots of celestial energy from the cultivators nearby. With a satisfied roar, the Qilin turned into a soul fragment and returned to Wang Lin's bag of holding. Wang Lin turned toward Sun Yunshan. "Brother Sun, the restriction has been removed, and your sister is safe. As for your martial uncles, you'll have to find them yourself. The one I took from your sect, I'll release him. Farewell." Without waiting for a response, Wang Lin vanished with the short old man, teleporting directly to the soul refining tribe. Inside the dark tower, Wang Lin threw the old man to the ground and sat cross-legged before him. His eyes glowed like torches as he summoned three swords, the refined blades of Zishu, Moyang, and Haizu. Each radiated a sharp, cold aura. Wang Lin pressed the tips of the blades against the old man's skin, their power intertwining. "This is Sword Saint Ling Tianao's triple talent sword formation," Wang Lin said calmly. "If your celestial capture net releases you and you make even a single move, I'll let you experience its power firsthand." The old man's face turned pale with terror. Wang Lin's gaze was like a blade as he spoke again, his tone calm yet filled with demonic authority. "Now tell me who you are. If you stay silent, I'll soul search you myself, and refine your soul so that you'll never reincarnate again." The old man's trembling voice echoed inside the dark tower, bound tightly by the celestial capture net. His eyes bulged in anger and fear as he shouted, "I'm a celestial. You still dare to disrespect me?" Before he could finish, Wang Lin frowned. He had no patience left for the man's arrogance. A ghostly light appeared in his hand, the soul search spell. Without a word, he raised his right palm and pressed it toward the old man's head. The old man screamed in terror. I'll talk," but his body was bound. He couldn't move even an inch. Wang Lin's eyes suddenly flickered. Just as he was about to strike, his divine sense detected a disturbance above the soul refining tribe. Outside, The sky trembled as a black cloud split apart. A sharp, metallic hum rang through the heavens, the cry of a sword. A black blade tore through the sky and shot straight toward the tower. In a flash, the blade entered, revealing a familiar figure, Shu Leguo, holding a long, celestial brush in his hands. He looked exhausted but eager to please. Master, little Shu has caught the treasure for you. You don't know how fast it ran. Wang Lin extended his hand. The brush flew obediently into his palm, radiating powerful celestial energy. He could feel the immense pressure within it, the unmistakable aura of a true celestial artifact. Not bad, Wang Lin said simply. Those words alone made Shu Leguo grin with relief. Since his failed betrayal, he had been desperate to earn back favor, and now, he finally had his chance. Ignoring him, Wang Lin focused on the brush. He closed his eyes and sent his own celestial spiritual energy into it. At once, a golden glow began to shine from the brush's tip. It grew brighter and brighter until it illuminated the entire tower. From afar, it looked as though the tower itself was glowing gold. Outside, every member of the soul refining tribe fell to their knees in reverence, bowing toward the tower that blazed with divine light. Inside, the short old man squinted, the reflection of gold burning in his eyes. He felt a bitter sting of jealousy. He remembered when he first picked up this very brush, the golden light it gave off then was faint, weak compared to this. Now, under Wang Lin's control, it was radiant like the sun. He sneered inwardly. HMPH, so what if it shines brighter? Without me guiding him, he'll never unlock its true power. He comforted himself with pride. Back then, even I needed the jade to learn its use, of course. It also took great intelligence on my part. But before that thought could finish, he froze. Wang Lin's eyes opened, now shimmering faintly with gold. Holding the brush gracefully, he drew a single golden stroke through the air, a perfect celestial symbol formed before him. The old man's heart skipped a beat. He learned it after seeing me use it once? No, that's impossible. Wang Lin didn't stop. With another wave of his brush, a second golden stroke appeared. Then a third. The strokes merged, forming a brilliant three-stroke symbol that shone with divine radiance. In that moment, the celestial spiritual energy inside Wang Lin surged on its own. Pouring into the symbol, the air itself trembled. Golden light burst outward, flooding the entire tower. Outside, the heavens responded. The black clouds that had long hung over the soul refining tribe melted away like snow under sunlight, revealing a pure blue sky. The golden light spread across heaven and earth, and the old soul flag that once blanketed the tribe dissolved into nothingness. Inside, Wang Lin stood tall, his white robe fluttering though there was no wind. His long black hair streamed behind him as if moved by invisible power. The aura of a celestial radiated from his body. In his hand, the brush glowed like a scepter of divine power. The golden symbol before him shimmered with the rhythm of the heavenly Tao itself. Shu Leguo stood frozen in awe, unable to even breathe. The golden brilliance burned his eyes and filled him with the same overwhelming fear he once felt before, only now it was tenfold stronger. In that moment, he truly felt that Wang Lin could erase his existence with just a single thought. As for the old man, he was completely stunned. His lips trembled, and his eyes were wide with disbelief. "See Celestial Emperor," he whispered in horror. Wang Lin took a deep breath and gently pointed toward the radiant symbol. It broke apart into countless motes of golden light that drifted out of the tower and merged with the world outside. The light slowly faded, leaving only the silence of reverence behind. Then his gaze turned cold once more. "Now," he said, his voice carrying a deep, devilish resonance, "tell me your identity." The sound of his voice wasn't just heard, it entered the old man's mind. It wrapped around his origin soul like invisible chains. This was the heavenly devil sound, a technique that bound truth itself. The old man's eyes turned glassy as he answered mechanically. "I am Huang Yu, of the Refining Feather Sect. I entered the demon spirit land after being hunted by enemies, and stayed here in hiding ever since." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. "Where did you obtain the celestial seed and treasures?" "I found them in an abandoned cave," the man said flatly. What else did you find besides the seed and the brush? I found 2 bags of holding. One was empty of divine sense, it held the celestial capture net. The brush, and a jade. The other had a divine sense imprint. So I couldn't open it, but it was stolen by someone, a cultivation couple. Hatred flickered in his vacant eyes. The memory still burning even through the spell's control. Wang Lin leaned forward slightly. What was recorded on the jade? It contained methods for using celestial treasures, several celestial spells, and the technique for refining celestial guardian puppets. But the jade was restricted, I couldn't see it all. Where is the jade now? Wang Lin demanded. In my bag of holding? How long does the celestial capture net last? 3 days. With a wave of his sleeve, Wang Lin sealed the old man's origin soul with celestial energy, ensuring he wouldn't awaken. Then he sat down in meditation as the tower fell silent once more. 3 days later, the celestial capture net released a faint green light and retracted on its own. The old man fell limp to the ground. Wang Lin opened his eyes and drew the man's bag of holding into his hand. A single sweep of his divine sense made him frown. He reached out again, shaking the old man. More than 10 bags of holding fell out of hidden folds in his robes. Casually tossing him aside, Wang Lin began scanning them one by one. At last, his attention settled on a single, ordinary-looking bag. Inside were countless jades of various kinds. But among them was one piece that drew his attention, a green jade unlike any other. It wasn't stone or wood, nor celestial jade, it felt alive, warm to the touch. As his divine sense entered the jade, Wang Lin's expression changed dramatically. His eyes shone with astonishment, then deep focus. Within the jade was a record, one that detailed the methods for 3 celestial treasures. And even a true celestial spell. And then, a faint, echoing voice sounded within the jade. Cheng Shuang, you have just become a reign Celestial Realm Celestial General. As your father, this is my gift to you. These 3 celestial treasures were crafted by my own hands. And this celestial spell, though not of high rank, is one I believe you will find quite interesting. In this episode, we see Wang Lin push further into the heart of the demon spirit land. Uncovering secrets long buried beneath miasma and blood, his relentless pursuit leads him to the Cultivation Union's hidden location, where old enemies and forgotten legacies intertwine. Through cunning and sheer will, he subdues the treacherous old cultivator Huang Yu, whose celestial treasures and forbidden knowledge reveal the lingering shadow of the celestial realm. With the celestial capture net turned against its own master and the mysterious celestial brush brought under his control, Wang Lin once again demonstrates the terrifying breadth of his understanding. When the golden radiance of the celestial brush lights up the heavens, even his enemies mistake him for a celestial emperor. Each revelation pulls him deeper into the truth behind the demon spirit land, and closer to powers that once belonged only to the immortals. By the end, Wang Lin unearths a jade that holds the legacy of a true celestial, the techniques for 3 divine treasures and a genuine celestial spell. A gift once left for someone named Cheng Shuang. What began as a pursuit of answers has now opened the path to an inheritance that may reshape his destiny forever. If you enjoyed or found this episode helpful, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest episodes of Renegade Immortal.